Hello guys, welcome to the Trading Parrot. Good news, today we are getting a Hive 4-hour buy signal on the Nasdaq. What you're seeing here is the past performance of this particular signal. It's got 100% accuracy in 5 years. So I'm pretty excited about getting this signal. Today we're also going to cover this multi-month divergence on the dollar index, which could be indicating that we are in the process of forming a top on the dollar, and that is amazing news for Bitcoin. There can still be more downside. We're going to be looking at the levels that we could reach if we don't hold the current levels. At the end of the video, I'm also going to show you an indicator from on-chain data analysis that is beautifully showing the formation of the bottom. I just want to remind you that all the indicators that I'm looking here, I'm just going to make an honest interpretation of what I'm seeing in the charts, but in no way I have any idea where the market is heading. I don't know if we're going higher or lower. I'm just getting excited because there's been an accumulation of indicators that are showing some bullishness. Of course, no indicator can guarantee any outcome, so please don't take any of this information as the absolute truth. So let's start with the Hive. The Hive bullish is an indicator that is included with all the tiers in the Trading Parrot, and it's a very simple indicator that counts all the divergences from many indicators, and once they reach a threshold in terms of number of divergences in the past candles, it can be used to signal tops or to signal potential bottoms. Let's have a look at what it's saying right now. Today is flashing exactly in the current candle a buy signal, and that is located around 12,000 on the Nasdaq. The target for the signal is to get at least to this level here. That's twice the ATR on the 4-hour chart. It's a pretty conservative target. We're going to see that most of the time that it flashes, it can go way beyond the target. Let's look at the previous signal. This signal was printed at 13.5, and from there we did a nice bounce of almost 13% in the Nasdaq right after the signal. This was printed halfway when we were forming this double bottom, which also confirmed that we were gonna go higher. And if you're wondering what is this is the Hive bearish, which printed a sell right here and exactly right there. Pretty accurate. There's another buy signal on October that offered an increase of almost 16% to the upside. On this pullback, halfway through going back, on the gray line, we can see that there is an upside of almost 20% if we count just until there, or if we count until the top, we get a 30%. This was a drawdown of a 6%. There's another signal buy on the 22nd of September, another one in March, almost at the bottom of the collapse of the price. There's a bunch of false positives on the sell signal here on the Nasdaq. You can always increase the expectation, so you can request for the sell signals to count one more divergence. You could filter out these false positives very easily. Another signal in 2019, there was a drawdown of 13%. If we zoom out from there and we see the whole chart 5 years in the past, you're gonna see that the only signal that has more than 10% drawdown was the one that triggered on the 1st of November 2018. All the other signals went to the upside, including this one in the bear market. So that's pretty exciting. Be aware, even if the signals have a good track record of accuracy, they can still fail. We're looking here at the dollar index, and this divergence that we are having against the RSI is just impressive. It started from April and is still in formation. We are at 110, doing higher highs on the price and lower lows on the RSI. This is still on a downtrend. It's just incredible. Can the dollar index go higher and cancel out this divergence? Potentially, yes. You could have a few more candles here to the upside, which will push the RSI higher, and this divergence will get canceled, at least on the weekly. We need to keep an eye on this, because if now we do a pullback on the dollar to these previous levels, and this is confirmed as the higher high, then the divergence will get confirmed. Ideally, we want to see this candle with a wick like this one to the upside, confirming the bearish divergence on the weekly with a wick to the upside. That will be extremely bearish for the dollar index. But what if that doesn't happen? What if this green candle turns out to be a very large green candle to the upside to 112, 113. Well, we need to look in what is the potential for the downside for Bitcoin, and what better to use than the CPR levels. Let's observe the pivots for September. They are located between 22.3 to 20.8. We are below the pivots, and I remind you, being below the pivots, it means that we are struggling, and it also means that if we don't conquer the levels of the pivots back again, there's no way we can get bullish. The most likely potential to the upside is only to confirm the breakdown to the upside at the levels of 19.7 that we just lost. So if we have a relief rally higher than that, is very low likely. It's not impossible, it's very low likely. It will be a stretch, but we could get even towards the first pivot level, which is located at 20.8. I see it way less likely, but it's also still possible. Once we get rejection, the highest level of probability that we could reach in September is this level of 17.9. Let's call it 18K is the highest likelihood that we are going to reach next, according just purely to the CPR. But now, additional to the CPR, we're going to add to our analysis the visible range volume, which is all this curve on the right hand side of the chart. I'm going to make sure that most of the activity in Bitcoin is visible in my chart. That's going to make a little bit messy the chart. I'm going to hide CPR for a second and look at this. The highest levels of volatility at the moment are 20K. This level is the strongest level of resistance that we need to conquer next. Below us, there's almost no cluster of volume. So this is what everybody's fearing. From here to here, there's almost nothing. And this is located at 12K. The only things that are standing out here are these two levels. The first one is 15.7 and 13.6. Now let's put back the CPR and let's zoom back in. Let's put a horizontal line at 15.4 and another one in the middle of this cluster, which is at 13.2. So as you can see, the 18K, which is the first support of the CPR, it's coinciding with the lower low, which we made in June. So this level makes sense. The next level, which is at 15.8, is very close to the first level of support coming from the volume model, and the third level, which is at 12.2, is very close to the 13K level that comes from volume again. So if we want to know worst case scenarios, the most likely is visiting 18K. The second one is visiting 16K, and the third one is between 13 and 12K for the month of September. Now, as promised, I cut for you this on-chain chart called the Puell multiple. This indicator is extremely accurate, predicting the bottoms of the market. All this green area here is associated with areas where Bitcoin is extremely oversold. This metric looks at the supply side of Bitcoin economy, Bitcoin miners, and their revenue. It's calculated dividing the daily issuance value of Bitcoins in dollar by the 365-day moving average of the daily issuance value. I find very interesting how this indicator flags a bottom. It's usually finding a lower low, and then once it starts building up higher lows, you know we are going in the right direction. For example, in 2012, we had a double bottom and then started printing higher lows towards the upside, and that was exactly this bull run here. The same happened in the bottom in 2015. You can see the price going sideways, but the Puell multiple started building higher lows. And there you go, that's the confirmation for another bull run. In 2018, very accurately showing exactly the bottom. Then I don't use the signal by itself. I look at the higher lows. These higher lows here, they are showing exactly how we are in our path to recovery. In COVID crash, exactly the same thing. What are we doing nowadays? We print a double bottom, and we are starting to print higher highs. What you need to be looking for now is that the Puell multiple never goes below these lower lows there. That will fully invalidate where are we heading. What we need to see now is that the Puell multiple needs to go above 0.44. Guys, if you like the content, make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the like, and the best thing that you can do for this channel is leave a comment. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye bye.